Hand in Glove failed to reach the top 40, yet sold solidly on the independent circuit, helping to further establish the band's already promising reputation. It was their follow-up single in October, however, that was to launch the Smiths' career in truly spectacular fashion.
This Charming Man is just a very beautiful, wonderful record. And to be honest, that's one of the odd things. You do expect great bands to write their hit singles by the time of their second album, not for their first time out. So that to me is quite a shock. I always think A&R when I go, I don't hear the hit single. I always want to shout, they haven't fucking written it yet, you idiot. So to come up with this Charming Man that early in their career is really quite special.
It just flew, that single, didn't it? It was just amazing. You could not fault it. It was just, I think that was when you suddenly thought, Johnny Marr, you're a genius. You know, you're a complete genius. Listen to that guitar, you know. I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. This man said it's gruesome that someone so handsome should care.
I think This Charming Man is probably my favourite Smiths track. I have never, ever tired of hearing that song. There's something about it. Morrissey's voice, the story of the song, the guitar, which is just instant, it just grabs you right away. And I think that was the template for the rest of the Smiths' career, really, despite the fact that they had other great melodies and songs and lyrics going for them. That kind of like set the tone. And so I think that was a very important single.
Well, I suppose with whatever else This Charming Man had, it was a great pop song. So, you know, the cryptic nature of the words didn't really get in the way of the fact that it had great impact. And they didn't sort of dress up in the way that pop groups did. They didn't, you know, kind of look like they were paying attention to the idea of styling themselves. And yet they were. It instantly looked like an unusual type of pop group.
It was very exciting because Hand in Glove was a different thing. It was a kind of dark, strange thing, but This Charming Man was the Smiths. It was absolutely essential Smiths.
After the success of This Charming Man, the Smiths began to feature prominently in the pages of the music press. Yet the distinctly ambiguous nature of the song lyrics, as well as those of Hand in Glove, began to fuel speculation as to Morrissey's sexuality.
Well, he called himself the prophet of the fourth sex, and it's, you know, of course it's insane to think that you can step outside of gender or sexuality, but isn't that what we want pop stars to be? Don't we want them to be mad, or at least making mad gestures? And the maddest thing about Morrissey is he got away with it. I mean, he succeeded. He really did seem to reinvent gender. He became his own special creation. And that applies to sexuality too.
Usually rock frontmen, it's always about, it's a very macho thing, or it's you know, a very dominant thing, but Morrissey was like, it was very odd, you know, it's, because there's a certain femininity what he does, but and a campness, but there isn't really either, because he's quite a stocky guy. He doesn't look soft, you know, so it's not like your classic kind of archetype camp frontman like you'd have in a new romantic band, who was somebody who'd be pretending to be camp.
I really believe Morrissey is a bit of a one-off, and the whole sexuality thing obviously put an element into his songwriting where people didn't matter whether they were heterosexual or homosexual or boy or girl, they could all find a connection lyrically with what he was writing.
I wouldn't say that I sing from a staunchly male point of view. I think I have enough scope to really imagine how practically almost anybody would feel. And for me to sing in an exclusively male point of view is just very standard, really.